Hello, Cancer. Thank you very much for tuning into your love read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Witch's Tarot by Ellen Dugan. For supportive oracle cards, Queen of the Moon Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. I very much like her cards. I want to say it's the Halloween Oracle. I didn't walk into the room to check it, now that I think of it. Alright, relationship first, single second. Alright, I feel like your partner's energy is already very strong. It's good energy. Okay. Yours is good too, though. Yours is very good. Ooh. There's a lot of love going on here. No, I don't want this card. I didn't look at it, but we're going to keep with what we have here. This is a very passionate moment here. You're really coming together in a very strong moment here. Now, your partner knows what they want. It's very interesting to me. You have matching energies. Like, they have Earth where they're standing. You have Earth where you're standing. You actually have the Queen of Pentacles. You're very devoted. You're very secure. They have the Ten of Pentacles. They feel very strong and very secure, very well as well. But they seem to be trying to move forward to, like, fortify the kingdom in a way. It's almost like it's a very good situation. It's a very strong situation. And they're working to keep it so. You feel very accomplished and like, yeah, well, I oversee this. I look over the situation. I make sure it stays that way. You're very conducive. It's a little different, but it feels very similar energy. Very, like we're very locked together. We're very strong together. I know they're different cards, but the energy feels very much like it's very similar to me. Like you're both very devoted. I'm getting a very strong devotion feel between the two of you because I'm feeling those cards very tightly wound. Usually those cards have different messages, but for you in this relationship, I feel like what it's saying is you're both seeing eye to eye, like where this relationship should go and how it should be, the strength behind it, stuff like that. Okay. Now, you have the Queen of Pentacles for where you're standing. Your challenge card, I'm noticing, is the King of Pentacles. So you're both eye to eye, and I feel like that's very important to realize. There's a lot of stability, there's a lot of strength in this relationship. What your challenge card is the King of Pentacles, because they're like, don't be so rigid in the sense of like it's strong, it's fortified the way it is. It's almost like I'm looking at a castle, and there's proposed improvements to the castle, we're just going to say. And it's going to be like, well, we're going to knock out a portion of this outside wall so we can expand the castle and add some more, acreage here to it, whatever, more space. And I feel like the challenge with the King of Pentacles might be like, well, wait a minute, we knock out that wall, then we're subject to attacks. Like that weakens us. If people know that that's down, that's part of our defenses that's very strong. If we take that down, we can't just put it back up like in 2 seconds. That makes us vulnerable, and that makes us vulnerable for a time period. And it's kind of like, this is your challenge card. Not to look at this next segment coming forward like that's a challenge. That leaves us vulnerable, and I don't want that. This relationship's too important to me. I'd rather not take the chance and just let it be what it is and not try to expand, because by expanding, we jeopardize the whole. Now, they're saying this is your challenge card to not do that. To not fight expansion, because you're afraid like that could leave us vulnerable in a very serious way for a time. Because your partner, they're going to come forward with the Knight of Wands, which is like they're proposing a change. They're proposing something to go forward. They got a lot of strength coming in. Their challenge card is the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is a victory card. Another actually good card, but when it comes in as a challenge, it's like they might be short-sighted and maybe very, very animate to make this come forward. And they got the abundance linking the two together, which is telling me they believe in this change. They believe in what needs to happen. So if we're going to go with that castle analogy again, they're like, no, we need to knock down this wall. Yeah, we'll be vulnerable for a while, but when we get it all built, we'll be so much stronger, so much happier. Everybody's going to be so much happier. We're going to have that dream castle we've always wanted. So it's like it's a nerving thing for you. Now, I do understand when this comes forward to you, you are willing to think about it either way. They're saying though, when you think about it, don't get caught up in the vulnerability. Really think about the benefits from this change. Think about how good that can be for you and your partner and whoever else is involved in your relationship. For example, if you have kids or somebody living with you, how does this make their life better too? Because I feel like the first thing I'm seeing, the challenge card is kind of like, leaves this vulnerable, leaves that vulnerable. What if that happens? What if this happens? For example, if it's a money thing, oh, we use all that money and then what if this happens or what if that happens and we don't have that money now? Oh, what now? I feel you worried about that. And they're saying don't get caught up in that too much. You can negotiate this a bit so you're not as vulnerable. How much of the wall gets taken down at a time, what's built in its place. And I also feel like there might be another version, kind of like, can we build up that outer wall first and then knock down this inner wall? Is that possible? If we do that, how much time and resource does that take? Or does that kind of leave us with a faulty structure by doing that? Is that really a possibility? Like, talk it out, they're saying. Talk out the possibilities, but keep going forward because this change coming forward is a good thing. Now, I do see a good thing for your partner is to not back down. They have the Four of Swords. I don't feel like they want to back down, but I also feel like they might feel stunted with communication, and I don't think that's bad. It's up to you to open the door and to talk things out. They want this to happen, but it seems to be hinging on your approval. Something about you have to go along with it or it's not going to happen. So, they do feel kind of like, I'm getting kind of like they feel stuck, like they can't do anything, but I don't think that's very bad. Because that opens the door for you to talk to them, to bring it to them what you want, and to move things forward in a very positive way. Because they want it to happen, and I feel kind of like a stubborn attitude here, a little bit too, to be fair. Kind of like they don't want to back down from this, but they know that if you're not in it, if you're not in too, if you're not signing up for this too, then it's not going to happen. So there's kind of like they don't want to back off, but they can't progress without you. You know what I mean? Definitely they can't. It's not even an option. So, and I feel like that's a good thing. Like, they have to wait for you to come back to them. So that's another thing with the Queen of Cups. Like, if you want to take some time to think about it, and I feel like most of you will, just make sure you go with empowerment, not with fear. Evolve with empowerment. In fact, if you have to address some fear things, empower yourself to, like, work around these fears so you can be okay but still progress. Because I feel like you have some time to your liking you can work this out. They're just saying make sure you keep progressing forward. This is a good thing to happen. This should happen. This is strengthening. This is positive. And I do see a lot of love cards going on between the two of you. Your partner also has the Knight of Cups. Like, they want to do this with you. They wouldn't really want to do this with anybody else, is what I'm getting. They really do want this. You're the only one they want to do this with. It's not only, even if they could technically do it with someone else, they don't want to. They want to do it with you. So it's something they really want. It's something they want you to be in on. It's something they want your approval on. It's something I just feel like they can't go forward if you don't approve it. And they really want this for the both of you. You're in their heart with this. You have a really great ending coming up, by the way. I'm not going to spoil it. Now, this is where things get better for you. Spiritually, you have another strong card, the Emperor card. Don't get caught up in the genders of any of these cards. Whatever you are, you are. But they're saying the King of Pentacles is your challenge card. Spiritually, the Emperor is higher, to me anyway, is outranks a king. Emperors outrank a king to me. I could be viewing this wrong, just to be fair, but this is how I emotionally view it, if that makes sense. Like, you have kings, and then above the kings, the Emperor, like, rallies the kings together and moves kingdoms together all as one. Like, the Emperor oversees kingdoms. A king oversees their kingdom. Like, you know what I mean? If that makes sense, that's how I'm seeing this. And I feel like if you evolve it forward and you see the bigger picture, like, yeah, we're going to have some vulnerabilities here, but I think we can work around it this way, and I see where this could work out best for everybody, and I can see where I can pull in some resources, and maybe this person can help me or that person can help me, so it's actually not as dangerous as I thought it was going to be. We're not as vulnerable as I was worried we were going to be. This kingdom or that kingdom can help me. You know, I almost feel like somebody's mother will step in and help you get forward, and like that'll balance out. because I'm seeing here the unexpected pop in with the Emperor and with the Queen of Cups. Kind of like you have other people to pull on, other people who want you to succeed. And it's stepping forward and seeing unexpected possibilities or solutions to this vulnerability I feel like you're worried about. Seeing those unexpected solutions will give you that success, will help you and your partner move forward. By doing that, you get this outcome, which I think this is the best. This is one of the best ones I've seen. You have the Lover's card. They have the Two of Cups. By moving this forward, you want to do this. It's just the vulnerability. If we can work through the vulnerability and get around the vulnerability, okay, cool. So that's all it takes for you to succeed, and you're very happy. You do want to do this with them. They've got the Two of Cups. Like, these are two very strong love cards. Like, this coming forward is a very, very good thing. You're both very passionately into it. I just feel like you got to find a way around the pitfalls. Once you do that and you're like, oh, okay, this can help, that can do, we can find another way around this. Once you're secure, I basically feel like it's smooth sailing in the sense of like, we're going to do this, we're going to make it work out, we're going to have success because we're both on the same page. Whether the situation is an easy situation or not, I guess you know that a lot better than I do because you know what this is connecting to. But you being on the same page with your partner, you moving together as a unit, very fortified, very strong, like you will succeed because you're going to be very tight and you're going to be pulling in resources. You're both going to be very strong going forward. You will have the success. For some of you, it will be easy. For others of you, it won't be as easy, but through the strength in your relationship, you will make it through and you will succeed. Are we good? We're good. All right. So that is Cancer relationship. Good. I like that. That was really good. Felt really good. I like the energy there. All right. What do we have for single Cancers? What do we have for single Cancers? Empowering information for single Cancers. What's going on around them? What possibilities do they have? What's the truth? The truth about what they're seeing. Well, I guess that's why I was saying truth. Okay. We'll find out in a minute here. Okay, let's see the last card. Yeah, no. There's a rough card here in the center. I'm just curious why. A little bit more. Let's do a little bit of a side shuffle here. You're heading forward towards something, but there's an issue. There's definitely an issue. Okay. I do want the bottom card. Acceptance is at the bottom. Acceptance. For single Cancers, there's a challenge here. There's definitely a big challenge. Somebody told you their feelings for you, and you don't seem to like it, is what I'm getting. Somebody told you that they very much love you and they want to be with you. You don't like it. I'm getting right off the bat that you don't like it. And I'm seeing the card coming up in a second, that you'll see why. They've got the Sun card. Like it's almost like they've been pining for you for years. They want to be with you, and it's not about how they look. It's about, I feel like I'm getting details. It's the details. Like there's something in their life that you don't like. It's almost like, I've seen this come through in a different reading, almost like you're a very peaceful anti-gun person, and the person you're interested in is like the head of the NRA or something like that. You're just like, oh, this is quite the contrast. Like you could be anti-gun and they're very pro-gun. Like it's something like that. They could be married or in some type of situation where you don't really care for the way they live life. Something like that. Because it's not about them. It's not about physically how they look. It's not even about how they treat you. There's details in their life that you're like, oh, I don't know about that. Like that seems like that's a conflict. There's a conflict, something like that. I feel like when you figure out who this is, you'll immediately know what that conflict is. Because it bothers you. You don't like it. Now, I'm getting... you got the Ten of Swords, which is devastation. You got the knight, not the knight, the page of pentacles. Like the energy's a little screwed up here because you're not happy about this and you're hung up on it is what I'm getting. You're hung up on it and you're kind of like, I don't see how this is going to get better. In fact, whatever the difference is or whatever the hang up is here, the detail, you're like, I don't like it right now. A few months out, I'm not going to like it any better. In fact, I'm possibly going to like it a lot less. You're not happy with this. And I'm getting, your first thought is to walk on from this. And you're like, no. They might like me, and they honestly do, and they're attractive enough. It's not about how they look, is what I'm getting. It has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with how they treat you. It's details. I'm getting, again, it's details. And you got the devastation here. You're not seeing it get better on the way down the road. You're like, I don't think this is a good idea. I think this could actually become a worse thing down the line. I think I'm going to move on from this. You got the Three of Wands. Like, I think I'm going to move on from this. The thing about this Three of Wands, and especially in this reading, it's not always the case, but you'll notice that person is perched on the rocks looking over the bay here. There's a ship coming in, and they're considering getting on the ship. But you'll also know, and it's very pertinent for this reading, because I'm very much an intuitive reader, hasn't gotten on that ship yet, but is seriously thinking, that ship's for me, I have to get on it. So you're not really considering other angles here. You're like, no, I don't think this is for me. I see another ship. I'm going to go over that way. The reason this is coming forward is because that's not the end of this situation. Now, they're saying acceptance at the bottom, which I think I showed you already. Acceptance, and things could get better. Because I get that this person, I do feel like this person is a very good person. And sometimes when people have very strong contrasts, if I can spit it out. For example, you may be anti-gun and they're very pro-gun. When these two energies mix, in fact, even if it's like, I don't want to go there, but I'll go there a little bit. I'm going to be careful. If you have very contrasting political views, whatever that is, and I'm not going to go into explanations on that. You know what that is. If it's there, it's there. When these two energies come together, if they come together in love and in respect, they can actually not only start understanding each other, but they can blossom that out to other people. Like, if you're a part of this political situation, this is how you feel politically. And you have a very strong aversion to somebody else with a different feel, another group. If somebody else comes towards you, you come together in love, you're more likely to understand why the other person or the other side feels the way they do, and you can explain to people around you, like, well, this is what I found out, like why this and why they feel that. Like, it can evolve the situation. It can not help only you, but people around you. That's very hard to do. Like, I know I have a very good friend who has contrasting political views than I do, but I very much respect this person and I trust them. So even though they're contrasting, I wanted to hear what this person said because I trust them as a soul, like as a person. So I'm like, well, if they feel that way, there's a good reason they feel that way. It's very much in contrast to the way I feel, but I want to talk to them because I know that they have reasons for the way they feel. And it's good to talk that out. It makes me feel like when I talk to the person I know, it made me feel like, okay, this makes more sense why. I'm not going to say I'm going that way totally, but it make more sense like, okay, that's why this happened, and that's why this is going where that's going. Like, it makes more sense. Doesn't mean you're going to be like, oh, okay, let me skip down the street about it. It's not going to be like that. But at least you're like, okay, well, all right, that makes more sense. And the more you can understand an inversion rather than just fight against it, the better it's going to evolve, the more likely something good will come in later down the road. I think that makes sense without me beating it any farther. Because at the bottom here, the reason I'm going through all this is because karma, which this is usually like the judgment card in a lot of decks, but it basically is saying you might have a very strong opinion about something. For some of you, it could be even, I know I'm pushing my luck with this, it could be a race. No matter what race you are. And in truth, like, no matter what race you are, there's always, like, some race always doesn't like another race for one reason, whatever it is. And you may have an adversity against a certain race. And you may see a lot of problems with, like, bringing that race into your life because your family or somebody or friends might have aversion with it. For some of you, that could be a thing. Even though we're in 2019, that's not completely out of the picture anymore. Or, I don't know. I realize it's still there, depending on what the match is. So, I'm just saying, it could be that, but they're saying, karma's saying, this is coming to you for a few different reasons. Not only is this good for you, but it could be good for the people around you, because this aversion, like, this person is not a bad person, and this could open doors, open hearts, and cause things to improve over time, where improvement was not happening. So it seems like it's a spiritual relationship in the sense of, like, not just for you and this person, but for the people around both of you. Because I feel like there's a respect here that, like, yes, you have differences of opinion that can easily be, but you're not going to let people around you step on the person you love, and vice versa. They're not going to let people around them step on you either. If somebody steps out of line and says something rude or something they shouldn't, let's just leave it at that, you'll step up and say something, or they'll step up and say something like, yeah, I understand you don't agree as the other person does, but I'm not going to let you disrespect them because they're not a bad person, so don't talk about them that way. If you have a problem with the opinion, fine, let's talk about that, but I'm not going to let you attack that person because I know that person's a good person. I think you know where I'm going with this. So, there's a lot of, it's not the easiest relationship, I'm not going to say that either, but as you're going towards this, and this isn't a relationship at this point, but this is what you're seeing, like, if I get involved with this could be a crap storm. It could be. As time keeps going forward, this person likes you, they don't want to back down, and they're nice to you, and they're good to you, and I feel like they're attractive enough, there's just this aversion, and you originally wanted to move on, but they're still coming toward you, and they like being around you, and they're good to you. And I'm getting that fear card, literally the fear card, and I like this fear card, and I'll explain in a minute why. You got that fear card saying, yeah, we might get along really well, and on the surface level and physically it may seem fine, but there's deeper issues here, and I think there's really a strong contrast that could be a big problem. And your fear is like, where is this going to go? What type of problems are we going to have in the future based on this? Now, the reason I like this fear card, and I'm going to center on this just for a quick second, is because there's crows on it, and I'm a fan of crows. One of the gifts of crows is that they communicate. They can be very social, and they can fly on their own. But they talk things out. They need to talk things out. They warn each other. They can even disappear for a while, but come back later. Crows are very good at addressing the negativity, but moving forward and evolving and keep going. Just because a negative moment happens, not letting it destroy things, but like flourishing and talking it out and getting people to know what's happening. They talk and they let things be said. So what I'm getting here is, if you want to move through this moment easier, talk with this person. Talk about your bare bone fears. Just talk about those bare bone fears. You probably have similar fears. And I feel like you could end up with some understanding. You might maybe even go into a talk or two about things you're afraid might be a problem. Like, well, you feel that way about a situation, and I feel this way. And they might be like, well, okay, I generally, yes, but there's more to that. And you might actually get yourself into a deep conversation like, well, I don't like where they stand, but I understand more about why they stand where they stand. And you might feel more comfortable, like, all right, now I can at least explain why I'm okay with this person. Now I can understand why they are where they are. It's not going to erase all fear, but it may make you feel a lot stronger, like, well, I guess there's more to be gained from this. Talk about your fears with this person. Because at worst, they'll be like, oh yeah, that's a real thing in the run. I don't see that happening. But what I'm getting is, by talking it out, you're going to strengthen everything. You actually have, these two cards to me are companion cards, because they're both very positive. Water and earth go well together. So when I'm seeing these two cards, the Ten of Pentacles is in your thoughts. You got the Ten of Cups in this situation. Like, by talking this out, you can strengthen yourself to be okay and maybe give this a shot. This is not going to be an easy situation, granted, but this could be something that yields great benefits with great challenges. Great challenges that lead off to great benefits. It's kind of like, you know what I mean? If you want to build your dream house, it's going to take a lot of sacrifice and struggle to do so, but when you get there, you're going to be thankful that you have it because it's your dream house. It's kind of like facing the adversity to get the beautiful love that you want from it. It's kind of like every ounce of effort you put in, every struggle is matched with something positive, is equally as positive. Like, I don't know how else to say this. It's almost like, a gymnast putting in all that work and sweat and tears and for years, fighting to make themselves the best, and then getting to the Olympics, you know what I mean? And then finally getting to the Olympics. Like, that's the payoff. They're putting in so much time and effort, but they get the reward that they want. To them, it's vindication. That's what they want. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I think it does. I'm saying, does that make sense to a camera? That's great. You got the world here. When you come forward to this next spot, I do feel this person pulling forward to you again. I do feel you're enjoying time with them. They're saying this is a good situation for you. If you decide to go forward with this person and you connect in with them, this is a life-changing situation. Your life will change. Your life will be different. It's going to go on for a long time. I feel that for those of you who walk away from this, it's kind of like a very beautiful opportunity is being presented to you. I want to be careful, but I do feel like for those of you walking away from this, like you're saying, I don't think so. This isn't going to work for me if this is hitting for you. I feel like you're going back into a different pattern of things you've already done. I'm getting the thought more of the same. When it comes to relationships, you're going to go back into the line of whatever you've already experienced, and you're going to repeat something. That's what I'm feeling. So if the last relationship was unfavorable for whatever reason, that's probably what you're going to repeat for whatever reason. I don't know why, but that's what I'm connecting to. So they're like, take this, face the adversity head on, and get that beautiful goal. It feels really good to me. It's a lot. There's a lot of challenges here, or they're like, walk away from this, say no, and then repeat something that you've already done is what I'm getting. I feel a repeating feel. It doesn't have to be exactly with the same person, but the same type of problems are going to creep up as you've already gone through is what I'm getting. And to me, that's weird that that's how they're pulling it through, but that's how it's coming through. I'm going to let it be. And we're done. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.